Those of you who are fans of Japanese anime, manga, or entertainment in general will probably be aware that for quite some time, Western credit card companies have been in essence in a state of war against Japanese entertainment. This has been going on for years now, to a lesser or greater degree, but it has recently escalated quite drastically, with a statement made by Visa saying it is necessary to disallow it to protect the brand, referring to adult entertainment. Now, the classification of adult entertainment can vary somewhat from Asia to the West, as, well, something like this, 2D Seduction, I think, or Love Hina, an old-ass manga. Well, this would probably be considered fairly adult in the West, but in Japan, well, this is simply just a basic bitch love comedy now, or, well, that's a little bit uncharitable, as it practically started the genre. It's actually rather pivotal. But what they said, what I find rather fascinating here. In turn, the Visa exec explained that while the company normally helps to facilitate transactions for any and all legal goods, they chose to break away from sites stocking adult manga and books because sometimes it is necessary to disallow it to protect the brand. So, the escalation here is that they're not merely blocking adult websites, they are blocking websites who even just have adult content in their inventory. This is a pretty major escalation because, again, this is a pretty big part of Japanese culture, and blocking anyone who has any of it on their sites is, well, the majority, if indeed damn near not all of them. So, does Visa have a point here? Are they protecting their brand? No, they are not. And before we even get into the moral conversation here, let me just demonstrate that, shall I? You can purchase a Netflix subscription, which used to air Cuties, a TV series whose simple screen cap makes me fear the wrath of YouTube, or a parody comedy that got 1.3 million signatures to take it down because it depicted Jesus as gay. Okay, rather provocative. Or what about that time that Cersei and Jaime Lannister banged next to their son's corpse? You can buy a subscription to this, easy peasy, from HBO, Netflix with the Visa, and allow me to really bring down the hammer here. The meme website extraordinaire, Bad Dragon accepts Visa. Okay? I just want to hammer this home. You can purchase, with Visa's full blessing, understanding, and knowledge, a 15-inch dragon cock with which to excavate yourself. And Visa has no problems with this whatsoever. They endorse it. They're happy. This is not damaging to their brand whatsoever. But a drawing, oh boy, that's going a little bit too far. Hey, just to point it out, my argument here isn't that you should not be allowed to purchase your dragon cock the size of my fists. Of course not. More power to you. It is that payment processors are not allowed to make that moral decision, as I would quite heartily argue that this is no more harmful than this. That Love Hina is no more harmful than a satirical comedy. And I would sure as hell argue that this is a hell of a lot more harmful than this. Alright? Japanese manga and anime is saucy, no doubt about it. It often even touches on topics that we in the West would find often somewhat controversial. The idea of, Sailor Moon, school kids wearing, tutu skirts and stuff and fighting evil. If you were to do that in live-action form, a few eyebrows might very well be raised, absolutely. But it is not Visa's position to come in and determine what is and is not acceptable for you to enjoy, what is and is not acceptable for you to purchase. That is up for the legal system to determine. If something is illegal, then fair enough. Withhold your services all you want. But if it is legal within the market you are operating, well, frankly, I feel as if this is one of those things where we need governments to take a more firm stance against corporations and simply say, okay, You are offering payment services in Japan. You will offer payment services to anything that we deem to be legal in Japan. If you do not, we will simply deny you permission to operate. That should be the solution. A payment processor, much like, this needs to be one of those expansions of what we consider to be utilities, frankly. I argue vehemently for the fact that the internet should be viewed as a utility, because if you do not have access to the internet today, you're kind of screwed. You're at the very least placed at a massive disadvantage towards everybody else, and so internet should simply be a service that the provider must offer. They cannot deny it, they cannot reject it, they cannot withdraw that service. You must be given access to it, like telephone or water and other such things. Well, payment processors should frankly be the same darn thing, because all of our money now is practically digital. If you are cut off from digital money, you are cut off from the internet, unless you're going to be sending cashier checks, I guess, via the mail. It is a huge part of our modern day society, and so you must offer these services. Now, we can still have competition in the field, obviously, and if anything, this will only increase the competition, because now you no longer have as much monopolistic roots here. One of the reasons why Visa and MasterCard are the biggest companies is because, well, they are the largest. They have access to the most companies. They have access to make the most deals with companies and to give you the best discounts for these companies, which they bend over backwards to please. If there was simply a requirement that no, you have to provide the service regardless, then everybody's playing on more or less the same playing field. At the very least, up until, discounts are brought into the question, I guess. Well, that should probably be taken care of. But in the case of this, in the case of anime and manga, there is, of course, also a bigger cultural thing in this as well, in that the Visa executives will look at a drawing and find it somehow more objectionable than, the real thing. It's rare for me to be made uncomfortable by a literal picture, but that one does manage it pretty gosh darn well. As this is a problem we see on Steam as well, where Steam will happily greenlight adult games, but if you add in something that appears to be lolly presenting, shall we say, then Steam will crack down on it. I think, wasn't there even a rule that all of the characters needed to look college age, which again is like, okay, how do you define that? How do you put that into an anime form? We've got 1, 2, 3, probably 4 characters on this picture that wouldn't qualify, and I'm pretty sure, wasn't the only adult one of these this chick or something? It's been about 20 years since I read Love Hina, but I'm pretty sure all of them are high schoolers, or were they in college? God even knows. The point is, we have a little bit of a different interpretation here of what is and is not culturally appropriate. And it should not be up to Visa to decide it, because then you do get the ridiculous situation where a website, like I think they mentioned Torano Ana here, who sells simply just books. You can purchase regular manga there, you can purchase adult manga there. They don't really care. They're simply offering their services. You want to purchase a thing? Well, they're going to let you purchase that thing. Simple as. And Visa then comes in and says, no, I am not going to allow you to conduct a legal transaction between consenting adults because I don't like it. However, have you ever considered how delightful it would be to own a Bad Dragon plushie? We accept Visa and MasterCard. Which makes this entire nonsensical argument of theirs fall apart. Oh, we are doing this to protect our brand. Really? See, here's the thing as well. As a final point, Visa is not doing this to protect their brand, because nobody associates the Visa brand with what they're purchasing. Nobody buys a thing on the internet and goes, aha, Visa endorses this. No, it's a payment processor in essence. It is simply the method from which you transfer your money from point A to point B. Nice and simple. No connection there, no association, no endorsements whatsoever, and nobody thinks it is. However, this is a weak spot to attack public if you are an activist. That is what Visa is afraid of. Visa are not afraid of normal people. They're afraid of people going, I don't like this thing. I'm going to construct a moral narrative why this thing is bad, then I'm going to go to Visa and go, you darn pedophiles, you're selling manga on websites that use your processors. I think this is damaging to your brand. That's the actual argument being made here. Those are the people who actually go after the companies for this nonsense. And they should not do so. They should... I mean, yes, we could say that as many times as you want. And they are going to do so because it gives them power. It gives them the ability to cancel products they don't like and to hurt people they don't like. And so they're going to keep doing it. And so long as the companies don't have the balls to stop them, well, I guess we're going to have to find other ways to do so as we yet again arrive at the predicament of human stupidity demanding regulations, only for human stupidity to screw over the regulations again. It's a bit of an endless dance, isn't it? But no. Visa should not be allowed to do this. Visa does not have the moral right to do this, and Visa should not be allowed to do this, full stop. And especially not for some nonsensical argument about protecting their brand. Not with everything else that they supposedly slap their name onto. Until next time, I've been Arch. Thank you all very much for listening, and I do hope to see you all again soon. Till then, have a good day.